Pee on them to assert your dominance. r/AskReddit. What are some tips and tricks for arguing with idiots? Take time to make sure you are not the idiot. Don't argue opinions. Never argue opinions. Only argue facts. Because facts can be proven. Decide on criteria together for looking up the answer. What sources are valid is a big one. Thanks to the fake news boom. Agree to work together to find the truth. And be like, okay, websites X, Y, and Z are okay by both of us. Let's check them. Be sure to insist that things like politicians are not valid sources, but experts in their fields, doctors, teachers, etc. are. So a politician saying something is not okay, but a politician quoting a specific doctor is. Then you look for your answer in places you two agree are good sources. Odds are, if you're not an idiot, you'll find your answer is right. Don't. That's exactly what I wanted to say, and in as many words. So I agree with this. But I'm also conflicted. Without discussion nothing changes, and people become more divided. It's easy to say don't, but that makes the problem worse. You wouldn't advise a parent to not try to educate a stubborn toddler, would you? So back to the question. How do we talk to idiots and teach them to join reality without making them defensive and treating them like the adult toddlers they are? There's two kinds of idiots. One kind of idiot isn't an idiot by choice, they just don't know better in this case. You just need to explain it to them in terms they can understand. The second kind of idiots is idiots who are idiots by choice. They choose to believe in crap like flat earth and Scientology. These people will refuse to listen or change, and there's nothing you can do until they themselves realize they are the problem and want to change. This is exactly it. And the only reason why the world is the way it is today is because we started giving the second type of idiots attention. If you listen to stupid, then stupid will talk louder. If you ignore stupid, stupid goes away. Make them the expert and bow to their knowledge. So you're asking them to make sense of stuff you don't understand, but your tone is one of an uneducated child trying to learn or figure things out, not of one trying to challenge them as a person. My granddad used to say, you have to discuss up, not argue down. And to all the people saying don't, that's definitely a less stressful road, but also one without progress. I had a guy yelling at me and my roommate because my roommate was whispering to me that the guy was making her uncomfortable. He was being very loud and making very sexist comments, and as he was yelling at me, I just sat there and smiled at him, and he slowly trailed off and then started talking to someone else. Sometimes if you stay silent long enough, they can actually hear the bullshit coming from their mouth, and then they get embarrassed. Yep. Never argue with an idiot. They bring you down to their level and then beat you with experience. But I need to. It's my mom after all. Definitely don't if it's your mom. Arguing with idiots is like playing chess with a pigeon. No one wins. They just knock all the pieces over and chat on the board and strut around acting like they won. You won't win. Idiots don't care about facts. Don't even bother. In order to have a productive argument, both parties need to A. care about facts, and B. understand cause and effect to the degree that they can link those facts in rational ways. If idiots were capable of those things, they wouldn't be idiots. So, indeed, don't even bother. It is sad but probably true. And still, there are even highly educated, otherwise competent people who refuse to accept facts. For many it seems to be incredibly painful to accept that they were wrong about something. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is the point? You're not going to change her mind. No one has ever changed someone's mind by arguing. You must realize that. I'm honestly surprised that you think an argument can change a mind. That isn't an attitude I've seen before, and I'd like to know where you're coming from with that. I'm sure you have more. The point of an argument isn't to reconcile views, it isn't to persuade, and it isn't to discover truth together. An argument happens between two pre-convinced parties, and it is above everything else a rhetorical competition. Because it is a competition, I'm no more likely to change your mind with an argument than the 49ers are likely to rename themselves the Kansas City Chiefs Part 2 after losing the Super Bowl. This might actually just be a semantics thing. When you say argument, you might be saying what I think of as attached to the word discussion, which is what I would classify our present exchange, because neither of us is trying to win. We are just sharing bits of our thoughts. Step 1. Don't. Step 2. Don't. Step 3. Do not. Step 4. See rules 1, 2, 3. That's only the answer if you consider the actual time and effort required for the low reward of an idiot being less uninformed on a subject. If the said idiot is a close relative, you have to find another approach. What's too old saying? It's hard to argue with a genius, but it's fucking impossible to argue with an idiot. Smile and nod. Don't forget to make ambiguous, non-committal, hum noises from time to time too. For authenticity. I get angry for around 3 minutes, and then go not worth my time. And then proceed to move with my day. I was going to say, don't. But clearly that's been covered. Then I read the last guy say just say okay to everything, and watch them self-destruct. You might actually get a little further along with this method if you implement Socratic method and just ask them questions. The point is not to get to a gotcha moment from you, but come from a place of genuine curiosity. Otherwise they may get defensive if they feel they're being manipulated. Either they will wind themselves up until they figure out they really don't know what they're talking about, or you will have a better understanding of where they're coming from. Ask them questions from a place of genuine curiosity. This is such good advice and well said. A caution, though, use this approach only if you actually want to engage with the person, and be forewarned that, inasmuch as you are arguing with an idiot, this approach may fuel their superiority/condescension. This will make it hard for you to maintain your curiosity, but if you can, you will keep the argument from breaking down into defensiveness. You can't causally change someone's mind, they can only change their own mind. So asking questions truly is the only viable tactic. Ask another idiot to argue with them. You need me to argue with someone for you? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and presume that you genuinely want to engage the other person rather than just win the argument or feel superior. First and most important thing, don't call them an idiot. No one has ever changed their mind because someone called them stupid. Quite the opposite, calling someone stupid will make them become defensive, react emotionally rather than intellectually, and reject everything you are saying as a self-defense mechanism. Calling your opponent an idiot is great for making yourself feel better, but it's terrible for getting anyone else to listen to you. No one changes their mind because someone said they were stupid, they just convince themselves that that person is an butthole. Along those lines, attack the idea, not the person. You disagree, you aren't enemies. Discuss your problems with their belief, but try to separate it from the person themselves as much as possible. This allows the other person to distance themselves from their belief and think about what you are saying without feeling defensive. Anytime you discuss your belief, or you think that, or say anything that links your argument with them personally, or attack the person directly, you're reinforcing the idea that their belief is part of their personal identity, which, for them, means that they need to defend the belief in order to defend themselves. Allow your opponent to separate the belief from themselves, as this gives them room to consider whether the belief is wrong without feeling like to do so would mean to admit that they are personally flawed. And third, listen to the other person. Don't just wait to talk, actually listen. Respond to what they are saying to show that you are listening, and ask questions without getting angry or combative. Debates turn into arguments as soon as one person starts to become heated, because that just makes the other person become heated, and it snowballs until you're both yelling at each other. Once that happens, you're both going to react emotionally rather than intellectually, and neither one of you will be receptive to the other. Overall, stay level-headed, de-escalate emotions, be respectful, and let the ideas do the work. Expect to constantly have to steer them back to the crux of the argument. Be prepared to refute any spurious sources, and to back up your own facts with genuine sources. Pick your battles, because there will be many occasions where you will be told we will just have to agree to differ, and that's just your opinion. Don't always expect that the idiot will understand your logic. Also expect them to accuse you of getting angry if you put any effort into arguing with them. Someone told me I should apologize to them because I asked them for clarification on their question because I was wrongly calling them unclear. God forbid you actually want to understand what someone is talking about. How dare you make me think? Pee on them to assert your dominance. This is the only foolproof method I've seen so far. Asparagus. It's kinda unpopular, but be as polite and as calm as you can. Intelligent people can sometimes act like idiots when arguing with idiots. This applies to the internet as well. Presumably the only reason you're arguing with an idiot is because you love them. Instead of arguing, try to find common ground on something and agree not to discuss the subject further. No reason to disturb the relationship about something like an argument. If the person you're arguing with is in a position of power over you and the argument concerns things like punishment, try to carefully lay out why you believe the punishment does not align with the action performed. Tread very lightly here, because a slip up could very well result in more punishment. Furthermore, ensure that the subject you're discussing is something that is in fact open or logical to discuss. Try to see it from the other person's point of view, because they obviously believe that what they are doing is right for a reason. Complex imagination is a gift. Use it to your advantage in this case. Overall, idiot's gonna idiot. There's nothing you can do to solve that. But make sure that you're not an idiot back. That's something you can control.